Hey naughty community, welcome back to my naughty hobby with Amber for another easy to follow crochet tutorial. Today I'm going to be showing you guys how to create these adorable little granny stitch, I guess star shapes. What is this shape? It's not a hexagon, is it? I don't know. Terrible with shape names, but it reminds me of a star. So let's go ahead and get started with this pattern. I'm going to be using a 2.75 millimeter hook or a C and some #1 super fine 100% cotton fiber. I don't know that I want to start with this white though. I'm gonna grab onto the teal. We're gonna start, we'll do one of these white ones to make it even. All right, I'll bring my camera down a little bit. We're gonna start with a magic ring. Insert our hook and pull that first loop, and we're going to chain 3, which will count as our first stitch for this pattern. So chain 3. Now we're going to place 2 double crochets. So we've just created our first cluster of 3 double crochets, since that beginning chain counts as our first stitch. We're going to chain 1, and now we're going to work 4 more groups of 3 double crochets. Chain 1, work our 3rd group of 3 double crochets, being mindful that you're going over your loop and also your tail with this ring. I hold both between my middle finger and my thumb to make sure that I don't accidentally drop the tail, because if you do that, you can drop your stitches or it won't form a circle. So far we've got 3, 2 more groups of 3 double crochet to go. One more. Right, once you've got all your groups, count and double check. Got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Go ahead and do our chain 1 now. Find your tail and just pull your ring closed. Find your 3rd chain, your 3rd beginning chain. So we count from the base here, 1, 2, and here's that 3rd one. Just gonna insert my hook into that loop and do a slip stitch. Go ahead and fasten off. Tighten up your magic ring a little bit, shift your stitches around just a little. Okay. Now grab your second color. Got mine here. And starting in any of our chain 1 spaces, so I'm going to go here, I'm just going to insert my hook and I'm going to pull up a loop. And we will chain 3, which again will always count as our first stitch. I'm just going to kind of hold that tail on the side here so I don't try to crochet with it. Now we're going to place a total of 3 double crochet, chain 1, 3 double crochet into each of our chain 1 spaces. So that counts as our first stitch. Let's do 2 more double crochet. Chain 1. And 3 double crochet into that same chain 1 space. So moving on to that next one. If you don't weave in your ends as you go, one of the ways to make it a little bit easier so you don't lose that stitch is, again, using my left hand, I'll just kind of hold those tails down before I start working over that chain 1 space. Just because it's a little bit more, I don't know, fragile maybe would be a good word. Usually after I work that first set of 3 though, it's kind of secured that end from pulling loose. And I am an end weaver. I get a lot of people who come at me and ask, why don't you just crochet over them? And that's just one of those crocheter shortcuts that I don't like to take. I think that weaving your ends in creates a much sturdier piece. It's a lot harder for crochet or knitted pieces to unravel and come apart if you actually weave your ends in, opposed to just crocheting over them. We've got one more little set to do right here in the chain 1 space. 3 double crochet. Chain 1, 3 more double crochet. We're going to go ahead and once again slip stitch into that 1, 2, 3, the 3rd chain. Go ahead and fasten off your work. I'll weave in all of my ends at the very end, but so far your little star should be looking like this. Go ahead and grab your third color. Yeah, this is my third color. I was like, this kind of doesn't look like it, but here's my third. Love, love, love this ombre. We'll get rid of the other two colors there. Now, starting in any of the spaces between the shells that we created, so these spaces here, right there, that's where we're going to pull our yarn up at. So bring on a loop and do a chain 3. Always going to be working with groups of 3 double crochet in this pattern, so we are going to place 2 more double crochet into that same space, and into each of the spaces where the chain 1 spaces where we have those 3 double crochet, chain 1, 3 double crochet, we will put that exact same pattern into each one of those. So 3 double crochet, chain 1 and 3 more double crochet into that chain 1 space. Chain 1 spaces will always get 3 double crochet, chain 1, 3 double crochet. And then in the in-between spaces, they will always just get 3 double crochet. Got another corner here. And 3. Again, you'll want to hold on to your tail there just so it doesn't start to kind of pull out. And all of those spaces will always just get 3 double crochet. The groups of 3 double crochet is actually what is considered a granny stitch. Anytime you see patterns where it's a repeat of 3 double crochet. We're coming up to our last one here. So again, all of the double crochet with the chain 1 in between the groups, we'll always get, you know, that corner turn. And again, we are slip stitching into that third, I was going to say very top, but the third chain created in the beginning. Go ahead and fasten off your work. And now to continue to grow this, you're just going to use those in-between spaces like we did in this last row, where I always start to the farthest most right space that doesn't have a chain. You'll pull up a loop and chain 3, which counts as your first stitch, and then do 2 more double crochet into that same space. And then without doing any chains, you're going to do 3 double crochet into this space. But each of our corners will get the same pattern from the previous row, where we've worked 3 double crochet, a chain 1, and 3 double crochet. You'll just continue that all the way around, and then at the end of your pattern, you'll want to be sure to weave in all of your loose ends. And maybe once we get a good amount of these worked up, I will show you how to join them together. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial today and you're having fun hooking up a few of your own. I did do one that was just like a little bit bigger, so I thought I would show you real quick before I conclude the video. But again, I appreciate you watching today. I would love to see if you create a few of your own of these. I know that they're not hexagons. I don't know. I'm going to have to look up the name of the shape. I feel silly, but anyways, thanks so much for watching. I hope you have an absolutely wonderful week and you've got something beautiful on your hook, and I'll chat with you guys all real soon. Happy hooking! Take care, guys.